Hello, my fellow multidimensionals. It's Asia, founder of multidimensionalu.com, coming to you from the beautiful Western Mountains in Idaho. I don't know if you can see here, I'll pan around. Look at how beautiful the wildflowers are this time of year. It's just a delight to be out here. It's my monthly reset, and there is no cell connection out here, which I'm finding is really important for me these days. So if that resonates for some of you, I know it can be tricky to find a place where you have no option of Wi-Fi or cellular connection, but I highly encourage you do that. I mean, even if it's once a year, just to give you the contrast of being fully unplugged, it really makes a difference. So I'm going to start today's or this week's message with a short poem by Rumi. The Sufi poet Rumi, R-U-M-I, if you're not familiar with his work, I highly recommend you, maybe get one of his books of poetry. He was able to very much capture the essence of multidimensional consciousness. O seeker, these thoughts have such power over you. From nothing you became sad. From nothing you became happy. You are burning in the flames, but I will not let you out until you are fully baked, fully wise, and fully yourself. What a beautiful quote, or poem, I should say. I recently posted something in the Multidimensional You community to the effect of, these flames will not burn you, rather they'll burn everything that you aren't. So I know a lot of us continue to be in a purification phase, getting very clear on the shadow aspects of ourselves that are blocking us, that are constricting us, that are holding us in limiting patterns, that have us continuing to give our power away to others. I've adopted the mantra, please show me my shadow. I'm ready to see and integrate and heal my shadow. So when I'm talking about shadow, I'm talking about things like the lower states of emotion, fear of abandonment, jealousy, fear of rejection, fear of failure, all of those lower emotional states of being, the fear state that would have us focusing on a tomorrow that is not yet to be, that we are sitting here fashioning in our mind based on wounded states of being that come from this particular incarnation that we're in, this embodiment, this particular lifetime. Maybe things happened in childhood, and then certainly from past lives, and of course those include other planetary systems. So during this big shift on the planet, we're being asked to surface all of that and integrate it, and I really recommend everyone invite that in, because there is no shortcut around that. There's only integration. So it's a really good time to become very honest, as the butterfly just validated for us, right? Because if you want to emerge into that next amazing expanded version of yourself, you can't deny these shadow aspects, rather invite them in. I wasn't planning on talking so much about that, but many of you must need to hear that, okay? Yeah, I think sometimes we have really strange, unattainable standards of it's all supposed to be amazing and feel wonderful all the time, and we are processing shadow faster than ever. So you'll go into many dark nights of the soul, come out of them, go into another one. Just roll with that, knowing that you're doing exceptional work. So really what I wanted to focus on this week is how to hold or stick to your highest aligned timeline. Alignment is key. It's everything. Without alignment, there is no flow. So I highly recommend, if you're not in the group, the Facebook group, Meditations for Earth and Humanity, that you join that group, you begin doing those weekly meditations. I do a weekly Facebook live every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And there's some really powerful work being done there. And the Arcturians were talking to us this past Friday about how quickly most people are getting out of alignment. It's very, very common to just be kind of like, this is why people go to a chiropractor. So keeping your chakras clear and keeping yourself in alignment with your higher self, source, your highest timeline, it's going to require a lot of mental discipline. So in my notes I wrote, mental discipline extraordinaire. The world's not out there. It's always in here. It's always coming as a projection from in here. So it's just an illusion that it's out there happening to us. And the third point I want to touch on, then we'll circle back and kind of go into these in more detail, is something that came up in somebody's session recently in the emergence experience that I thought was brilliant. I had a moment of aha myself when her team explained this to her. We spend so much time in resistance to things we don't want to happen, to a path that we don't want to happen. We actually use so much of our life force and our mental focus on it. They encouraged her to see that we're already that path. We are already that failure, already that whatever scenario that you so fear happening. So relax. You're already all of it. Parallel timelines, you name it, right? It's already happening. It's already happened. So move out of resistance and then just use your focus to experience the expression that feels the most aligned, the highest aligned timeline for you. Do you see? It's a subtlety, but it's brilliant in that it takes you out of feeling like you have to work so hard to avoid this scenario. It's already happening. It's already happened. You're the embodied form of all of it, all the potentials, in the formless and in the form. This is a huge shift because it allows us, like Yeshua is always talking about, to move into a state of innocence and non-striving and simply being. Look at these flowers behind me. They're not exactly efforting, are they? They're simply opening themselves up to the sun. What a beautiful metaphor. So in the practical, every day, okay, here's what I want everyone to focus on this week, myself included. You catch yourself ruminating in a fearful state about what might come to pass that you don't want to come to pass, and catch yourself and say, aha, I'm already that's already happening. I choose to focus on this expression of my most highest aligned timeline. And you don't need to know the details of that, or maybe you have them, that's fine. Maybe you've gotten that guidance and now you're just working up the courage to step into that. But you don't have to know the details. You have to know the energetic signature of the emotion state that it takes you into, which of course is joy, happiness, contentment, passion, purpose. Allow yourself to recalibrate, and then using your mental discipline and your emotional discipline, bring yourself back into alignment with that. And do you see, how you've probably counseled a friend at some point in your life who was very upset about something that happened or was maybe they thought was going to happen. And you provided that kind of steady, reassuring, grounded, hey, don't worry so much. It's going to be all right. Okay? It's much easier to do this for others, of course, until we practice and get into a level of self-mastery for ourselves. This is what we're all being asked to do as way showers, is really cultivate our self-mastery. It doesn't mean we're perfect. It means that we take aligned, inspired action despite our fears and flaws, and we accept all of ourselves. We don't expect to be perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, right? That's part of experience. But the mental discipline is key. I will tell you right now, you have to be ruthless and not allowing your mind to wander down into the tar pit of unrealized scenarios that frighten you. That's just not the best use of your mental imagination, right? Or as Bashar would say, as channeled through Daryl Enka, I magi. We're not just creating fantasy here. These are very powerful instruments, our field of consciousness as focused through this particular avatar and field. And we're moving as we move dimensional states, our manifestation is happening even faster. So it's a very important time to clean up shadow, and it's also your ancestral line, by the way. Some of us took on entire ancestral lines because we could clear them. Okay, so I hope that pep talk serves everybody well. I'm just checking the time here. I've been out here for a day with my family, as I said, and we did some really powerful work last night around a fire ceremony. I'm going to share that in my planetary update. I really encourage, well, let me just take a moment here. Saint Germain is coming in. Yeah, okay. So basically what he's conveying is that so many of you are not giving yourselves permission to do what you need to do for yourselves in order to cultivate this state of alignment and self-mastery. So it's very important now that you do that you no longer allow the expectations, the pull, the dictates of others to determine your choices, especially as they affect your ability to get yourself back into alignment. Okay? Yeah. Boundaries. No one else can do that for you, of course. All right. Well, I hope that's helpful to everyone. I'm sending you so much love. I had some pretty amazing stuff happen here last night with this hand. Lots of really high frequency stuff coming through the field. Know that you're supported. My multidimensional field is with you. And I love you all. Have a very magical multidimensional week.